The Dream of a Paper Kite. It was late afternoon in a quiet old town where the cobblestone streets glowed golden beneath the soft light of the setting sun. The wind carried dry leaves along the cracked sidewalks, brushing against aged stone walls and shuttered windows. A boy named Riku, just 12 years old, wandered slowly down the empty street. Gray coat, hands in pockets, lost in thought. He was the kind of boy who looked like he carried too many memories for someone his age. As he walked, something fluttered near a trash pile on the side of the road. The wind lifted a sliver of color, a tattered triangle of faded red paper. Riku stopped. The paper was attached to a broken stick with a single frayed string. A paper kite. He knelt down and gently picked it up, brushing dirt from its surface. The paper was soft and warm, with small tears across the corners. For a moment, Riku just stared at it, frozen. Then, without knowing why, he whispered, "A kite," and then a memory surged. A distant field, endless green, blue sky, the sound of laughter. His mother's voice, bright and full of life, calling his name as he ran through the grass, a kite soaring above him. Her voice echoed in his mind, a sound he hadn't heard in years. Back in the present, Riku held the torn kite close to his chest. His eyes closed, and the wind swept around him again gently, like the touch of a memory. That evening, in the small dim room he called home, Riku sat at his wooden desk, carefully mending the kite. The golden light of the sunset filtered in through the open window. The room was simple, peeling paint on the walls, a tiny oil lamp, a shelf of old books. But tonight, it felt warmer than usual. With delicate fingers, Riku glued the torn seams of the kite, smoothing the paper edges with patience. He replaced the broken stick with one he found in the alley behind his building. Then, from a sewing kit once owned by his mother, he pulled a red thread and tied it tightly as a new string. When he was finished, he didn't speak. He just sat there for a while, looking at the kite. It was still imperfect, still fragile, but it could fly again. Later that night, under a purple sky where the last hints of sun faded into early dusk, Riku climbed to the rooftop of his building. The city lights below flickered like distant fireflies. Wind brushed against his face, stronger now, pulling gently at the string in his hand. He raised the kite over his head and released it. It caught the wind instantly, soaring upward like it remembered how to fly. Riku watched it climb higher and higher, dancing against the deepening sky. Then the world began to blur. The rooftop disappeared. The buildings dissolved into mist. Riku felt his feet lift from the ground. He was being pulled into the sky, no longer just watching the kite, but flying with it. The air around him shimmered. Light poured in from all sides, soft and warm. He floated gently down and landed in a place that didn't feel real. It was a Gardena dreamlike world filled with paper flowers that drifted on the breeze. Everything glowed with a lavender hue, and in the middle of the garden stood a woman waiting. "Mom?" Riku's voice cracked. She turned and smiled. It was her, just as he remembered. Her hair in a loose bun, her kimono patterned with small white blossoms. Her eyes held the same quiet kindness as always. "Hello, Riku," she said softly, as if no time had passed at all. Riku ran to her. Tears streamed down his cheeks. "I missed you. I thought you were gone forever." She knelt and touched his face. "I never left," she said. "I've always been right here." She placed her hand gently over his heart. They stood together in silence for a long time. No more words were needed. The breeze carried all that remained unspoken, but the light around them began to change. The wind grew stronger again. "Do I have to go?" Riku asked. His mother smiled. "It's time, but you'll be okay. Just remember, I'll always fly with you." The garden faded. Riku opened his eyes. He was back on the rooftop, the sky clear, stars beginning to appear. Beside him lay the kite, still and silent now. He sat for a while, looking up at the sky where the kite had once flown. The wind had stopped, but something in him felt lighter. The next morning, Riku walked through the same old street, bathed now in the soft glow of dawn. The world felt a little newer somehow, a little kinder. The paper kite was strapped carefully to his back, repaired but worn like a memory made whole again. As he disappeared into the light of the rising sun, a quiet message echoed in the wind. "Thank you, Mom, for flying with me one more time.